Hello, my most amazing artists. To celebrate how much we love reading, we're going to be creating some bookmarks today. These bookmarks are going to be origami corner bookmarks. So I'm going to choose one origami paper from the middle of my table in the basket, one paper, one color to start out with. I am going to start out with a fold. Now I have that basket of other supplies, but I don't need it yet. All I need is my hands. I'm going to turn it diagonally, fold it into a triangle by putting the bottom corner matching the top corner, and then give it a good crease. Before I crease my origami paper, I'm always making sure that I'm very gentle with it and matching up the corners before I press down and crease anytime. Then I'm going to pick up the right corner and match it up to the top of my triangle and crease it, and then do the same with the left. A lot of this, what I do on the right side, I will also repeat it on the left. And don't worry, we'll go through this step by step, so you'll be able to do it with me. So after I do that, I know it seems silly, but I'm going to unfold it. I'm going to unfold it so that way I can take the top first layer of my triangle, so back to my triangle shape, and fold it down. You'll see that there was this perfect spot for it that we already creased, and that's where it's going to go and meet at that bottom right there of the triangle. Now it's going to easily fold the right side up to meet the top. And now I'm going to go ahead and tuck it in. I know this is the tricky part, but I'm going to tuck it in right there and then do the same with the left side. By creasing and then tucking it in, it's going to now create a very sturdy bookmark that can be used in the corner of a book. It's really cool once you start to decorate them and see what they could become. I cannot wait to see your creativity on these, but this is how they work. Now it creates an awesome bookmark, so I know where I left off in my book. But now I get to decorate it. So this is where you can use your creativity. You can collage using paper, pencil, you could use your markers, you could use your Sharpies, you could use your crayons, or you could just stick to paper and scissors and glue and collage them. I'm going to start by cutting an eyeball. Yes, I'm going to make this into a corner creature for my bookmark. And notice how I made two by layering my paper and folding it in half, so that way I always cut two. If I was worried about drawing a circle, I could always trace something like my glue cap to get that shape too. But see how I folded the paper in half to create two of the same shape? That way I don't have to do double the work, and they're symmetrical and they're the same size and shape and even. All right, so now I have my eyeballs, and now I'm going to go ahead and make a zigzag line and cut that out carefully to make some teeth. Now anything that I add on here, if it's something like teeth or a tongue, I'm going to make sure I make it big enough that I can glue it inside of the bookmark. You'll see what I mean by that in a second. So I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to put it on that white piece of paper and then stick it up into there so it's a little hidden. The more I stick on top that flaps off the edge, it might not stick, but this sticks perfectly. There we go. Give it a good massage or press down for a few seconds and then stick the eyeballs on. Notice that anything I draw light with a pencil to trace or give me a guide of what I'm going to cut, but then I always make sure that the pencil side is not showing. I want to make it look like I just collaged this, meaning cut and glue, without drawing it. So I'm always gluing it down so that I can't see my pencil drawings. Now I can see my Sharpie drawing though. I want to make sure that I work very slowly when I'm doing this. Remember, this part of the video is fast forwarded because I don't want to have to start all over. Anything that I do here that I don't like, I'll have to turn into a beautiful oops or a happy accident. I have this crazy looking little monster now that's going to chomp on the corners of my book. Little bookworm. You could even make a bookworm. You can make a book cat, you can make a book dog, you could make a character from a video game, you could make it into a unicorn, you could make it into anything you want. It could be your favorite book character. You can make these into anything using your imagination and creativity. You can add any details using the paper and the glue and the scissors to collage it, or you could draw on there. You could even just design it. It doesn't have to be a creature with eyes and a nose and a mouth, or a person or an animal. It could just be drawings that you do and you design it and color it. That's up to you. Now it is time for us to do it together step by step. So if you sit at seat number 1, go ahead and get your one piece of origami paper of your color choice from the center of your table. All right, followed by seat number 2. It's your turn to go ahead and get your one piece of origami paper. Remember, we're going to move slowly because origami paper is special. It is thin and it is already cut to be the perfect size and shape. We don't have a whole lot of them to waste here, so we're never crumbling up an origami paper, ever. You'll see that I'm working with 2 pieces of paper, but you're only working with 1. I'm going to do the step with my light yellow paper, and then I'm going to repeat it when you should follow that step on a darker yellow paper. So you'll see I start on the left with this origami paper over here, and then I'll follow on the right when you can go ahead and repeat that step. So watch first, and then you can go ahead and do it. I'll give you plenty of time. So let's get started. You'll see the first step is holding your origami square like a diamond. So I'm holding it like a diamond, not like a square. And then I take the bottom corner of my diamond and I fold it to meet the top corner. This makes it become a triangle with 3 sides instead of a square or a diamond with 4 sides. Once you match up those edges, go ahead and give it a good crease, really making sure you fold down those edges. After you do that, you're going to meet the bottom right with the top point of your triangle. So notice how I'm bending my bottom right to meet the top of my triangle, and then I give it a good crease. So go ahead and do yours now. Take your bottom right and meet it up to meet the top. Give it a good crease right there. It's okay if it doesn't stay still, that's fine, but it should leave a vertical line down the center. Now I'm going to repeat that step on the left. I take my bottom left corner of my triangle and take it all the way to the tippy top point of my triangle. Now I've got 2 straight vertical lines right there that meet in the middle, and now I have a diamond again. Go ahead and do that on your paper. Give it a good crease. And now you should have a diamond with the open side up. Make sure that you always leave the open side up. This is how it's going to work. Then unfold it so it's back in a triangle, not unfolding it all the way. I know that seems silly, but that is because now I'm going to take the top point of my triangle. This is why it's important to use the open side. And I'm only going to peel up 1 layer of paper. So remember, only 1 layer. And then I'm going to meet it down at the bottom and give it a good crease. You'll notice that your paper should have the perfect little spot already creased on the sides to make it fit like a triangle. So I take that top layer, 1 point, and meet it down at the bottom. That's going to make like a diamond in the center of your triangle here. So now it makes that shape right there. And then, oops, I started on the wrong one. Then I take my bottom right corner and meet it up at the top, kind of like I did at the beginning, but now I have a piece of paper in the middle. That's because now I'm going to tuck it in. This is the trickiest part, is taking that corner and tucking it under that other part we just folded. So watch again. I put it up there, give it a good crease, and then open it and tuck it in. Then give it a good crease again. It's kind of making like a pocket. And you guessed it, a lot of origami is symmetrical, so I do the same on the other side. I now repeat that step, folding it up to meet the top, and then fold it down to tuck it in and give it a good crease. Sometimes it is tricky to tuck in. Always make sure you're working really gently with origami paper. It can easily rip if you're too rough with it. Don't get frustrated, take your time. It's okay. We can always back it up and I can always come help too. Go ahead and tuck it in and then fold down. Well, guess what? The hardest part is over. You did it. Now you have your origami bookmark. It's just upside down. All we have to do is get out a book and then turn it this way. That's going to be how it's a bookmark in the corner of your page. Hardest part is over. We already went through the part with all the steps and the rules. Now you get to use your creativity to design your own bookmark. You might need your supply bin from your art cart to do this, so you have pencils and Sharpies and markers and colored pencils or crayons or whatever you happen to have, especially if you're doing this at home. You can use anything. I'm going to go ahead and make this one an emoji. I'm thinking the simplest of supplies. Maybe I don't have scissors and glue. I'm going to sketch out my plan with a pencil and then outline it with Sharpie to make it stand out. So I do those heart eye emojis and the smile, and then I'll get out my markers and color those in. That's the simplest way to do it. If you just want to draw right on top of your bookmark, easy peasy way. And then you could even make another one when you're done. You could probably make lots of these to give to a friend or your parent or somebody. It's really cool. These are awesome, and they're actually very useful for your reading. A really cool bookmark that actually doesn't fall out since it's tucked onto that corner. Always make sure that when you finish one, though, that you write your name and your class code just in case it gets lost. The next one I'm going to make is going to be, well, how about you guess? What do you think I'm going to create with this cone shape out of the pink? I'm going to glue it to the top right there. Remember gluing behind it so it looks like it's underneath or coming out of it. I wonder what I'm making. Maybe I'll round that off a little bit so that it looks more like a... Let's see, did you guess it correctly? What's it becoming? It is a unicorn. I am creating a unicorn bookmark. So think about all the different creatures that you could create by adding on ears. You could add eyes, nose, mouth details. You could add arms. You could add little feet. You could even turn the bottom into a belly or the bottom into a mouth here. You can use the whole thing or just the top corners. That is totally up to you. You can use a combination of drawing and collaging, just collaging or just drawing. That is totally up to you. Just make sure you clean up your scraps. Scraps don't go in the basket. They go in the trash, and anything that's still usable, like a big piece, would go back in the basket with your scissors and glue when you're done. Make sure your name's on the back of everything, and I cannot wait to see what awesome corner creatures that you create. Have fun, artists!